We've arrived at the Gebhart Church Cemetery. We're here to check out the restoration work that the Miamisburg Historical Society has been working on for quite a bit of while. We'll go look at some of the tombstones. We can see from here many of the white ones that have been cleaned and restored, or at least cleaned. Some of them restored. We are here with Laurel from the Historical Society, who has been heading up the project here at the Gebhart Church Cemetery. That's the name, correct? I mean, it's the oldest cemetery in Miamisburg, isn't it?
Yes.
One of them, or is?
It competes with Stettler.
Ah, we'll call it the oldest for today. So, all right. You want to tell us what you've been doing just a little bit, and we'll show the visible results. We've already walked around and saw some of that.
Well, we started with a workshop in October of 22, and we had one of the world-renowned restoration specialists come, and she was referred to us by the Lebanon Historical Society, well, actually the Genealogical Society, and her name was Tamara Conde, and she's from New Salem, Massachusetts.
Okay. They know some old cemeteries
Oh,
out
yeah.
there.
Yeah, she's done restoration for like 20 years. So she came to us and taught us how to clean first. Then we also did some restoration on a couple of the stones down in the front. And so we use those as markers basically to see how, white or how
Yeah.
far along that we've been getting. But we actually reset a couple of those small stones. So
And I've noticed that you've stacked up a lot of the broken ones. Like, they're nice now. They're not just laid it all over the place like they used to be.
right. So
They're like, so if you can get to restoration, the pieces are right there stacked up with
right.
any visible part on top. I noticed that walking in. Been
Wow.
several years since I've been to this one.
Yes. Well, we started doing that this year. So this is
Yeah, yeah.
2023 or 2024. So we worked for a whole year on about 60% of the graves. But what we noticed was that there were stones that were underneath the ground, mostly to the east, because the stone would fall to the east because of gravity.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a special tool where I was just kind of knifing around it. It's just an edging tool that I use. And we were able to unearth these
Yeah.
stones. And we started finding them on the list, because we have about 4 lists that were produced by different people along the way.
Okay.
Yep. And so we started putting them with cedar blocks underneath them, and we have several people that have been helping doing different things like that. So this past Saturday, though, we had
A special guest. I was unable to
same
be here.
person, yeah.
Oh, okay. It'd help you with actually the
Yeah,
restoring
that's
of the
third
stones.
time. That would be the third time she's been here, but we called it a work session day,
Yeah.
and we were able to do something that has been incorrect for so long. 2 or 3 different things. First, may I show you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Excellent. It's a good shirt we're looking at from behind.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Preserving the past for the future. Mhm.
I'm on the Landmarks Foundation.
Yeah,
Also.
I see that.
So right over here are John George Gebhart and Margaret Gebhart. And if you could have seen these prior to this, they were just a pile of.
I have seen these prior to
Okay.
this. It's been many years, and I know
Yeah.
the state that most of the stones looked like the undescript stones, just dark, if not broken to pieces,
Right.
and
right.
very few of them were even legible.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it wore out, but
So when we found these, we knew that it was very important to get these back together. Plus, on the workers' progress, the WPA workers back in 1934 had listed these as broken. So they've been broken at least since 94 or since 34.
oh,
So that's 90 years.
it's amazing any part of it survived.
Right, so we don't know if they were even broken before that too. And so, anyways, those are finished and complete. You see, these are the marks right here. These were broken on both of them on the same corner
Yeah.
when they fell. So we don't know if it was natural or if it was just vandalism, or we don't know what happened. But
Most likely the shifting of the ground,
Yeah.
the freezing and the thawing of every year,
Yeah.
upheaves and stuff
right,
continually.
So we actually had to dig up the set stones, and so we pulled them up, and one of them we did without a hoist, which is like a tripod. It was a really cool tripod that she
Yeah.
brought. Oh, it's so neat. It has like these chains that you can lift
Yeah,
the stone
actually
with.
take the effort of trying to lift
Yeah, you're
a
just like, not too much to it, And it didn't mar her fingernails. It was really cool. And so, but you're looking around and you see something like this, and you're like, oh my gosh, we got to get that up too. And so, we have the same thing going on over there.
I've been looking,
Yeah.
that's,
Many of them.
many of them are, they may not get restored for a long time or a while, but they're all together.
Right.
They're not just disintegrating into the
Yes,
grass.
and that's what I you know, I started with one down there, and all of a sudden my heart broke, because as soon as I revealed that soil, you know, and I revealed the pieces, I saw what was happening was that they're getting fractured. And,
Once
likely,
underground, then it's definitely going to disintegrate
right.
quicker.
Plus they have newer mowers these days. They have, you know, zero-turn mowers. They probably just mowed it with a regular push mower at one time.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, they do it quick. And if something gets stuck under it, it's just...
We called it mowing it to death.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the markers. So that's why you're seeing them stacked up like that. But we're trying to keep them away from...
Well, yeah, I guess people won't realize. I mean, I have, because I've been here my whole life. But, you know, these things were just scattered or buried, like Laurel was saying, and just disintegrating. And without a labor of love, did you spearhead this? Did you think about it?
I did.
So without someone to spearhead something or to get a passion, it would remain.
Yep.
And most of the tombstones would look like the one with the blue flower over there. No, that's actually been cleaned too. Would look like some of the ones that were just completely...
Oh, they were black.
They were straight black. You couldn't read.
I
did my best to try to photograph, and I couldn't even pull nothing out with editing on certain ones. So,
well, if you look on Find a Grave, that's an excellent website, because it documents the years when they took those photographs. Mary Mahan, the grave hunter Mary, she did a lot of that, and so did, I think there's a woman by the name of Lindsay Blake. There's some other people that came in, you know, to the cemetery and did that. There's also a video of someone coming in, and they just walked around, and their heart was broken. You know, she just said she couldn't read anything. And these are all families like us.
And that's back when the people would say, just, you know, they'd bring a sheet and just try to chalk it to see what would come through that, because that was like your only way to even pretend to get anything off of it.
Or shaving cream.
And I mean, they'd do something to just try to get a
squeegee. And those ways, they don't work on certain stones, because you'll just get a lot of what looks like rubble, you know, and a lot of the stones, if they're limestone, say for instance, they get this texture on them that we call it granola. I do. Yeah. And if you start to even try to clean it, it'll come off.
It just disintegrates.
So you have to wait till a certain time of the day to get photographs. Like when the sun is at about 2 o'clock, it hits these correctly. Because all of the inscriptions are on the west side. Yeah. So that's how you can tell what direction you're facing if you're in a cemetery.
Oh yeah.
So we did this stone over here also. This one, we had started it in 2022, and the top of this was sitting down inside a slot right there. And so this past Saturday, we dug it all up, and I've got photos I can share with you and video. And we were able to marry the two of those pieces, or three of them, back together again.
And it looks great.
Yeah,
I mean, the others look great too.
Yeah.
Now these are skills you learned from her, different techniques of how to actually do it.
And there's
I mean, I see you're using a specific. Is this like the best little stuff for?
Yeah, it's a biological. It has like quaternary and ammonium in it. You can't really use like wet and forget. Although they do claim that you could use it now. You could try. Yeah. But this is really the safest. It doesn't contain any acids.
So that's what I mean. You know, you learn the proper ways. And
and it'll kill the lichen. And the lichen is what continues. See this right here?
No, I know
we haven't done anything to this, because this is a particular stone that wants to just delaminate. It'll get down in there.
Oh, I see.
We're trying to figure out what to do with it. And there's a lot online now, which is incredible, but a lot of it you have to be careful of what you
which resource is actually correct.
Yeah, Dr. Google. Right. But I have photographs of my dad, and my dad passed away in 2020 from Parkinson's. So, and my mom passed away in 2016. They were my inspiration. My parents had come here in the 90s, about 1996, and they were starting to read every single stone, because we have family here. We have a lot of family, I found out.
Oh, okay. In this particular cemetery?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we would always just park the car down there, come up, with our little container and put the flowers in it on the day before Memorial Day.
Yeah.
and our stones are laying flat, and they weren't originally, because during the time that my parents were sitting here doing this reading, spending a whole summer doing it, all of a sudden they came one day and their stones were gone.
Oh.
Gone, yeah. And so they checked with the church, and they said, oh, you know, someone decided to buy a new stone for it, and they took the old stones. And my dad was determined. They found who took them. They were up north somewhere, and they went and retrieved them. My brother-in-law, Denny.
Did they
and
just
my dad.
replace them because they wanted to, or because they wanted the originals for themselves as well, or collectors? 'Cause that's kind of odd to like take them with you unless.
Right, but what she said was she was the wife of a deceased Benner.
Oh,
and,
okay.
And she said, oh, nobody wants to read that old German anyways.
Which is mostly true, unless you actually have family or stuff, because eventually, well, our town's a little different. We still have quite a bit of history here, and families have hung in the area since the foundation in the 1800s.
Yeah.
But a lot of communities, they grow and move out, and there's no one left to remember or to do.
So when he passed away in 2020, I couldn't think of anything else to do but go visit where he was. And so when I walked up in here, and I remember him just sitting there looking at the stones, and then we looked around, and he just said, this is just a mess. He said, he said, I can't believe it happened so slowly, but it happened. I'm getting chills right now.
Yeah.
But he showed me like the Frederick Fox stone, because that's Mary Magdalena Fox's father. So that's my great-great-great-grandfather. And then, sorry, I'm talking about
So
my
from
dad,
the
and all of a
Fox
sudden I'm getting
Motor Company?
choked up.
Is it those foxes? Okay.
And then there was Meddards and Foxes, Gebhart, a lot of names I'm not even saying,
But now we know your motivation. We see where you
yeah.
come from, the family, the history. Okay, see, everything comes around. It's like,
Yeah.
well, I wonder what got you here.
Yeah.
Basically, we have just heard the story.
Yeah, yeah.
stuff.
So
Well,
I
it's
went
good.
so I called the church, and the church, I said, do you need any, have you ever tried to get a grant? And she said, no. I talked with the secretary, and she says, no. And I said, well, you know, I think I'm going to go to the Historical Society and talk with them about it. So I got in the door, and I mean, I started doing research right away, and they, you know, it's just like that was all I wrote, because all of a sudden I just said, let's do a cleaning. You know, I know people do this.
Well, it takes people with the compassion and then the energy and then the time to do stuff. Getting a grant's not easy, or writing it up properly to get attention and the correct people. So,
So the Historical Society stepped in. I mean, they didn't ask any questions. They just, they said, you know, we're excited about this. We want to do this. We know that our, you know, founding fathers, a lot of them are in this cemetery, and that there was a church here. There were 2 churches here that aren't here. And those are noises we hear every day.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It's Miamisburg. If you go further into town, it's trains. So, you know, welcome. Welcome to, the bells. Now, are those real or programmed too, like downtown?
They must be a recording.
Recording, yeah. They do real well with the recordings because they sound legit. Just like downtown at the...
we hear Kumbaya. And we hear, you know, Amazing Grace. And it makes you stop and, you know, think. And you're sitting here, and all of a sudden you're realizing you're right on top of someone. Then you start learning who they are, and you start looking up the information about them. And, you know, they were just like us, you know, in their day.
We all... Everybody driving has their own dreams, ambitions, alive, just day in, day out, wondering, you know, it's a lot. You look at, you'll know nobody, and it's like, they all got, they're like us, but different. Just,
Well, like I said, I'm also with the Landmarks Foundation in Centerville, which is Washington Township. And Miami Township was carved out of Washington Township. So we have Daniel Garrison right here, and Daniel Garrison is, that's whose name is right there on my shirt.
Okay. All right, we'll do a little promotion for the local Centerville, Washington. You know, one thing I always loved about this is how they did the stones here.
Yeah. They did
I
that
mean,
when we redid the
Will I admit that we climbed on them as kids, walking, seeing if we could make the whole trip? Yes. But we were a lot lighter then and
Right.
easier, and
Oh,
apparently we didn't die. We're still here.
there's a fantastic photo that someone thought of taking, and it's a glass slide negative, and it's in the Dayton History Collection also. And it's up there on Gebhart Church, just as you turn off a Old Central or 725, come down through here.
Yeah.
You can just imagine the horse-drawn carriages, clop, 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 clop.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'll give you that picture. It's on our website, but you can actually see these stones, and the stones are white, just like snow. And it just really makes you think.
And it's like I said, I told you already, as I drive this road quite frequently. So as I'm hitting the stop sign down there, coming this way,
Right.
it's an obvious transformation, just a visual.
Sure.
Instead of it just being all dark like the trees, or like, just
Yeah.
straight gray,
Yeah,
gray to black.
that's cool.
It's like, okay, I haven't
did.
walked up for a while.
The D2 did its job.
No.
Oh, we have fantastic
the
volunteers.
people doing it, yeah.
Yeah, and they're not here right now. Brenda Grooms. Oh,
That's
she's
okay.
wonderful. She just walked right into
I know
this
Brenda, I met her.
huge
Yeah.
job.
We talked for a
I
while.
love her so much. And Tish, and she, oh my gosh, and then Carol Medler, oh my goodness, and Helga Goins. These women are strong, and they are compassionate about what they're doing. And we also have Wayne Burgett, who brings some
Know him.
supplies and helps with some muscle. We needed that. And then of course John Chris Treon. He is, that you met him already.
Yeah.
And he and his wife Betsy, they cleared out all of the honeysuckle all the way up to the top last year. And of course we have to keep cutting some of it, but it's way different than it was.
You
We
cut
found
it and give it
graves.
to the lady down there who weaves it. Did you know that? The honeysuckle?
The what?
The honeysuckle. She was able to take stuff and dry and use it for weaving. She's
I see
weaving
what you
some
mean.
baskets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have,
There
fresh
you go.
sprouts. We have
I
a
know
lot
she
of it.
taught me that this it might have been this last
They're
month at the
bendable.
opening, or the month before.
Yeah. Susan.
Susan.
It's Susan.
We've got her out online.
Yeah,
yeah.
Susan Marina. Susan Marina.
Susan's for sure. The
Yeah.
last name I wouldn't.
That's cool. Well, here I'll
Susan.
show you the Revolutionary War
Okay.
soldiers. We have at least 3 of them that we know. Ooh,
Whoa!
I know of.
It attacked you out of nowhere. Oh! Look at this. It's like a maze.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a balm. It could be that one right there, but yeah, it's Jacob Baum.
Yeah.
And see, we might have to reposition this just so that it doesn't end up going that way for good.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we also have Gebhart, and that's George Gebhart. Let's see if this is it. Nope, not that one.
Yeah.
Here it is, right here. This one right here. So these are eligible for a bronze marker.
Okay.
And so,
George now is one of the founders, right? Right.
well, he's a
George
Revolutionary
Gebhart.
War soldier. and
Oh, okay, for that.
it
Yeah.
states it, on here. You can't see it very well because
We're gonna see what
we're
I
kinda
can
in the
grab
dark a little
today.
bit. But you'd see it if the
I'm a
sun
lot-
was sitting up.
The editing has come quite a ways that I can really pull a lot out with my raw images.
Well, look at this. Yeah. See, we've
Yeah.
cleaned this.
No,
and
and-
that one's
Yeah, this is a
this one's been.
well,
cleaned,
and that one,
one's- we're
that
being
one is
delicate.
actually, it's not totally,
Uh-huh.
you can still read it somewhat. Some of them were just absolutely just like flat stones. You could only feel the stuff with your fingers,
Yes.
some of them originally.
Right.
But you know this. You've been up here working hard.
Yeah. Now these are actually little footstones. See those little small footstones back there? That's the end. So when they're down like this. They're laying down.
Oh, yeah.
And so they say that when they rise up, they'll see the sun. When they rise up, and go to heaven.
So these are just footstones. There's no markings on them.
Oh, there are usually. It'll say for George Gebhart, it'll say GG.
Oh, okay.
Right
So
on
they
the
use
edge.
some initials.
Yeah. There's
Okay, so these
initials on
are-
there. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Some of them were turned around, so it could be that somebody had been, repositioning something a long time ago.
It's no telling. I mean, this cemetery goes back to what year?
Well, we found one from 1805, you know, so there's also an unmarked grave of a slave. We don't know where, but we're hoping that
Well,
we
I
can
mean,
find...
early 1800s is
Yeah.
well within,
We're kind of hoping, too, that we find someone who's interested in doing some ground-penetrating radar, because that'll help us even find some of the markers, you know, and, you know, maybe unmarked graves, too.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of that.
But that would definitely be wonderful if we could find the slave
Okay.
grave. And then here's the other one right over here. Our Gebhart stones, and you can see that they snap off. We found a picture of some kids in high school. They were taking pictures up here in the yearbook, and they were sitting on top of that one. You know, this is the hole that came out of right there, and that's Daniel Doves.
Oh, okay. So
Or Dursel Doves. Look at this one. This is interesting. Look at that name. Isn't that something?
Mm-hmm.
He was 62 years old in 48, so, you know, he's born about 1790, before they got here.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tree of Life.
Nice.
And now this one over here is the one that we worked on over the weekend. And this is the John Fox stone, and I'll give you the photo of it so you can show it. But it was like at a 45 or a 30 degree angle. I mean, you couldn't, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
But this is the one that we reset using the tripod. And we haven't cleaned it on this side at all because, you know, we've been, look at that, we've been afraid, you know, that it would, they call it a widowmaker.
Oh, yeah.
It would just fall. Like last year someone put their shoes under it, so it's like walk on the grave, you know, kind of like the way that...
Well, it's pretty heavy for sure.
And then this guy right here, this is Frederick Fox. He's a Revolutionary War soldier, and he was a drummer, a signal drummer.
And that's how they put them together back in the day, huh?
Yeah.
With them metal bars.
Yeah,
They fixed them and stuff, so.
But that's almost as much a part of the antiquity of that.
Well, it is
stone.
now, yeah. Because that's...
And it's definitely unstable in certain areas, although we've been thinking of a way to preserve this so that it could be like possibly set into an inlay of another stone.
Oh, okay.
You know, so that we could actually
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of
reset
top
it.
heavy as it's coming, and
Yeah.
you know, any little bit of...
Yeah, and we could
stuff.
reset it, you know, and have it more like this type of stone right here, you know, so that it's more stable. This whole area from here on down has been lacking stability. There were cedar trees that were, you know, there's possibly roots underneath that are
Oh, yeah, of
appreciate
course.
the, you know, starting to decay. And so a lot of things that were right around us, they were just pancaked. They just fell flat to the east.
Yeah.
And
That's what you can
Wayne
see when
helped
coming
us.
up, you know.
Yeah, us ladies, we were trying to lift those stones, but you can't lift them.
No,
You know, you
they're
just don't. And-
immensely heavy.
And there's boards under there, but they need to get reset soon.
No, but I mean, the fact that they've even did that much, because, you know, they're on the ground, they're skewed, they're underground,
look
they're
at
all
this,
that
see?
stuff.
So this is,
you all, you know, are they set? Are they no, but they're, you know, it's a big
out of the
step
way.
towards.
Yeah,
One,
it
it's a
is.
big step to protect them.
Right. And now
The lawnmower people coming ain't going to just zoom over top of those.
Right. Now these stumps are also part of the records, because in our records it'll
Helps
say,
identify
it
near.
will say stump next to, you know, this.
Yeah,
it'll
for
say
location.
stump. Right. And then so they were cedar, you know. You gotta be careful.
Well, that was the location directions in the old days. It wasn't, oh, go down to the such and such street. It's like, go down to blah blah's
That's
barn, turn right, go to the orchard of such and such, turn left. Yeah.
But you can see how this starts. It gets top heavy, and because the earth the earth is getting rounder and bigger every day, you know, and that soil just washes down.
The soil
and
the erosion.
Push it over, yeah.
Well, it's a couple hundred years now.
But you know, we watched that John Fox. We call it the John Fox stone, and it just, you know, it was in the same position at least for 3 or 4 years now. You know, so it could be any time that something happens.
You know, those are an angle over there. I saw like a 45, but you know, you're getting right, and it's great.
And this is my.
Whoa! I'm like, that's brand new.
That's it. That's
you know, I did not even notice that one.
Yeah,
it's completely out of place for here.
So that's when, can you imagine my parents coming in here and seeing that and just was.
Oh, so they took these.
Yeah, the people.
Oh.
Yeah. And they found them around a pond at their residence.
Oh, so they weren't even like displaying them or like, you know, something
right.
cool.
And that is.
Okay, I thought they might be taking it. You know, it's like, okay, I'm going to take the preserve.
Yeah, just for the record, it's illegal to take tombstones out of a graveyard.
Yeah.
Unless you have permission from every person who's living that is related to that family.
Good luck on finding that.
Yeah, because this is Jacob Benner and Mary Magdalena Fox, and I thought that I was their only great granddaughter. Nope.
Can't be.
No,
With that, you start the trees start.
2 or 3 zeros to that.
The trees start branching, and there's.
I had no idea. You know, for years and years here I was.
That's how we all got made. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was the
started
only one
with
coming
2.
and putting a
then started
with
8 again or something like that. So it's like.
I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was like, "Oh, Dad, you didn't tell me." But his dad had just himself. My dad was an only child, and then but his dad was one of 13.
Yeah, well, that's common back then.
Yep.
You needed good work hands for the farm and the industry and the,
right.
you know, the whole. It's a lot better.
So you can see this one was just lucky, you know, that it didn't.
That's in great shape still.
But it was sticking up on the ground a little bit, so they could see that. But this one wasn't. This one was down. So
I mean, the fact it stayed together, that's what I meant, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the common thing here. And that one's one of the few that are legible, you know, one of the ones you could see still.
But you couldn't see it above ground.
Yeah.
You didn't see the one part that was here, and so they, you know, the mowers were running
over it. Yeah.
This one's always been here too, but you can see there's something else right there. That's a set stone.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, people a lot of times will just walk right over the top of it. They don't even realize.
Well, no, you don't. I mean, it's like.
So.
I mean, you can kind of.
This person's body is there.
Yes.
So I always just try to walk. You know, try to walk along this edge. That one
Then that one, that's taking a good hit with the upheaval right here. It's trying to. Yeah.
This one right over here is the one that we did first, and so it was completely over. We dug it out completely, and it was black. You couldn't see any of these. And then we also I believe we cleaned this one or repositioned it, one or the other.
Yeah.
And so we also have a problem with this tree. See, this tree it's an old ash tree, so it died.
Oh yeah, all of it.
I came one day and one of the limbs up there had just fallen right straight down, right in this area, like hitting the stones. So we do need donations for things like that. Like even if someone wants to cut a tree down.
Well, I'm kind of surprised because Miamisburg has cut down every tree in every park. It's like, well, you know, it ain't a park.
It's not owned by Miamisburg, and it's owned by the church. So but the church said
trees cost
they would
a lot
be happy to give somebody like a donation slip, for their taxes.
Oh yeah. There you go.
That would be the way to do it. We have contacted a couple companies, but they want their money, and I can understand why.
There you go.
We need a bucket truck. So if anyone's willing to do a little bit of pro bono or donation work, we're here.
There you go.
Yeah. See, like this one right here, this was underneath the ground completely, and that's why it's in 4 pieces, maybe 5. Yep.
Yeah, but you reclaimed it, you see, and that's what I mean. That's the first thing I noticed when I was walking up all that work. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I caught, besides the you know, you don't really see that driving, but you see the white stones and the cleanness of
Right.
so many. And I don't mean totally white, you know, but actually clean.
Right.
And it's a very obvious
Yeah.
thing. So
Well,
I should probably let you go here because
Yep.
your whole time will be done, and I
Yeah.
appreciate
well, I really
all the
appreciate
history
that
and
you've,
story, so.
given us the time to say
yeah.
things about it.
Yeah, we'll put this
There's-
together and get it out there.
Yeah. I've got some film of Tamara from Saturday, and I've got pictures, you know, from back, so you can see what the stones look like before.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Jay,
All
thank
right.
you so much.
Well, thank you, Laurel.
From the Historical Society and us.
Yeah.